No, before in Ghana, you remember What Goes Around? The first album, Movement.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, you played What Goes Around and all these early tracks. You know, at that time you were at Joy FM when I first came out, and you were one of the people that first championed and exposed my music to in Ghana. You know, so most people might not know the history. I just wanted to put the history right. You know, so it's a pleasure to see you again. You know.
Wow, it's an honor to have you, man. Wow. I remember back then it was cassettes, man.
You know, and all of that.
And then you use a pen to pull it
a pen to pull it, you know. But since then, you know, things have changed a lot.
I know.
You know, and most of us, you know, since the first album, you know, God has blessed us with the opportunity to bring it to different parts of the world, not only in Ghana, bring it to different parts of the world, to the point where we were privileged to also bring Ghana its first Grammy nomination.
Yeah, I mean, you've been away, you've been in and out, back and forth, and I want to say, I know you've been asked this question several times, but I haven't asked you yet. How would you see music's transformation over the years in terms of production-wise?
So easy right now, you know, in terms of getting great sounds. Getting great sound because, you know, you have digital production has allowed the ability to have very high-end sounds that you can use in your production. Whilst at first you had to record it. So recording every sound, you needed the best microphones to capture some of those sounds. But now, those sounds have already been captured in some of the highest studios in the world, and they are available as, you know, loops, they are available as samples and all of that. So you are able to, if you are creative enough, you are able to create the same things that you could create, you know. But I feel that, you know, I always mix the two mediums, right. You know. So I see that there's more opportunity to be able to do more now and get a high level of quality, you know, without a huge expense.
Well, I had a conversation with, you know, in the days that they were doing music, like earlier on in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, they had their own bands. So therefore, every band had its unique identity, as opposed to now that they have producers who have their identities. So you can always tell, or you can predict that maybe this artist here will sound like the next one. What are your views on that?
Well, the thing is that, because when changes happen, sometimes we expect the changes to be exactly like our generation, and that's not how it happens. There's always new influences, and then when it comes to music has always evolved with the technology. You know, even when we think of old times, people played music without recording it. Then at some point there was something called recording. So people started documenting and recording this thing. So we have, and even Ghanaian music too, when we look, you know, we had like from the guitar band, and everybody said, let's use electric instruments, let's, you know, then it became guitar, you know, guitar band, then it came like, then you have the Bogger High Life, which started using programming. You know, the Bogger High Life stuff, you know, so that was even the time when it was not really fully live musicians in the studio. You had musicians, I mean, people like, you know, the music of, let's say, after Osibisa. I mean, Osibisa was more like, let's say, live instrumentation. Then beyond Osibisa, now you had more, you know, the Chasamuas and all that kind of stuff. You know, that era too, you know, they were using more of the electronic, the Lumbas were using the electronic music and mixing that too with live instrumentation and all of that. So it changed the character of the whole thing. I mean, you play it live with your band, but a lot of times when you are tracking, just because they wanted to get, like, let's say, the heavy bass, the heavy drums, and all of that kind of stuff, so you use more of a digital sound to get that impact rather than, you know, recording it live. I mean, not to say that one or either is wrong or is the right way, but you had more options. And because the club culture too became the driving force for music and all of that, now becoming the producers,
right.
You know, because they wanted to tailor the music to be relevant to the clubs and all of that, and that was kind of the means by which music became popular. Radio DJs wanted a song that had, like, you know, was banging, you know, and all of that. So it has changed it, and I don't say one for the better, but it's the generation that we live in.
I think then when, you know, you sold cassettes, CDs, you know, how is music selling now in terms of like what's the financial?
Well, right now, music, there's nothing like music selling. You know, so, you know, the model of and, you know, which first of all disrupted everything, because when the internet came, music became free. You know, so artists will spend money on everything, put it up, and all of a sudden MP3 will put it out everywhere, and everybody can download. So all the artists, ended up in debt, most of them, because they couldn't recoup their money. And then as the technology changed, they saw that selling music was not going to be the way, because you couldn't sell CDs anymore. So it had to go through a digital means. So by digital means too, there has to be a way of monetizing it. Yes.
What you?
Yes.
We were nominated for Grammy, among other things, achievements.
Yes.
What significantly can you do using your influence to assist such people to be actually recognized also?
Right after the Grammy nomination. Right after the Grammy nomination, literally, it was in every major outlet in the world, ever, anywhere, about the album being nominated for a Grammy. No, that was branches of the same tree.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
So every music producer, every music outlet, every label, all of them started taking paying notice of Ghanaian music. And then because of the internet too, it allowed people to go and start looking for other Ghanaian music. Okay, if one Ghanaian music has been able to penetrate, and I said that even during my nomination, that it's only the tip of the iceberg, because there's so much music and amazing artists in Ghana too, beyond, apart from myself. So this was only a means by which people could access more Ghanaian. So it brought a lot of eyes on Ghanaian music, which I believe has been instrumental in where Ghanaian music is getting a lot of attention right now in the world. Right. But obviously a lot of people are not gonna give credit to it, because I don't do my music for credit. I don't do what I do for credit. But it's just really acknowledging that all of us, what we do and the pedestals that we get, it adds a lot of value to the overall industry being moved forward. So now Ghanaian artists are getting a lot of attention, different places, all of that kind of stuff, right from the back, because people can hear their music off the internet. But it's also all due to the steps that have been taken. And then I also made mention too, even during my thing, that although I attained that Grammy, it was not because I was like the first, shall I say, best artist that came from our country. I also built my music based upon learning from other legends.
Right. But obviously there's something that you may have done uniquely, because obviously there's a criteria.
Yes.
There's a standard.
Yes, there's a standard
that you must, meet.
There's a standard that you must, first of all, quality. First of all, you have to write, originality. And the album has to be able to, this is something that is being voted by the top music aficionados all around the world. The cream of the crop of musicians who sit and listen to these albums and make a choice. So for an album and an artist that has not had, let's say, an institutional support of a movement, whilst you are competing with other people who have the millions of dollars behind their promotional campaign, they have their countries behind their promotional campaign, they have all of this behind to break it through, the music had to speak for itself. It has to be unquestionable. It has to be beyond the argument that it actually had to be part of that. So I think that when people listen to all the records that were released that year, everybody knew that Branches of the Same Tree was a unique album, because it fused reggae music, it fused high life, Afrobeat, and all of that into a very cohesive whole that every music programmer around the world, it made it into the Billboard charts, apart from what CB said at that time when the album came, it was one of the albums that made it into the Billboard charts. It was on apart from the Billboard charts, it was also on programmers all around the world programmed the album. It got a lot of attention. And I think that was also what made a lot of music aficionados, when they were voting, the three other albums were all Jamaican artists that were, and all the other albums sounded the same together, but Branch of the Same Thing just sounded like an island on its own, because it was.
I'll put you in the top spot.
Yeah, because It was a sound that was different, a sound that was unique, a sound that was very African, a sound that was fresh, you know. And I think that because as an artist, I always had to walk alone and that kind of stuff, because there was never like that kind of big support behind me. I had to always strive for excellence on my own. It also helped me to also develop the ability that I was not making hype music. Okay. You know, I'm not making hype music for a lot of day and a lot of all of that kind of stuff, but I was making music too that will stand the test of time. Music that had songwriting, music that was well produced, music that was unique in each of them. And I think that is what really determined and made that album relevant up till now.
To the top spot. Yes. Your top 3 pick.
It keeps changing. You know, I will say this. I'll say this are the top 3, and all of a sudden I will turn on and listen to some young guy, and I'll be like, "What the." You know, this is like the stuff.
Right, like
you know, I'll tell you one artist that I've been vibing to is Walasi.
Walasi.
Yeah, right now. I'll be honest. You know, that is like one artist that I've been vibing to, and I'm just like, you know, this is, you know, because it's like not following the trends, you know what I mean? Not following what everybody's following the trend. Everybody will be just same rhythm, then everybody did top, and that kind of stuff. It will be popular today, tomorrow it will be forgotten, it will belong in the dustbin of history.
Yeah.
But when you come and you challenge the paradigm, you create new things, you challenge your audience, and you create something that is unique, like how Fela came and disrupted Nigeria. Something different. You know, how, let's say, people like Ampedu and African Brothers back in the day disrupted all of that stuff.
That's true.
You know, we've had those kind of, you know, artists like that, you know, Osibisa sound, you know, my sound, you know, all of this kind of stuff. So you always have to gravitate towards, not to say that the others that I've not mentioned are not as relevant, because every artist, sometimes you start from that part, then you go evolve and find your voice.
Words not express how grateful I am for having, you know, you this afternoon. It's really an honor. I'm grateful. Our whole team is grateful here for, you know, the time that you spent with us. I know it's very rare. And this is a part, but we will meet again.
Yes.
We started something since you're going to be around for a while. So
yes,
I know that other things will come up.
I did.
So, yeah.